Hello! Here are all the football clubs I had the privilege to see play at their own home stadium. And today, I'll be ranking each atmosphere and experience I got to see live. I know it might not be the craziest list compared to some other YouTubers, but I'm still so grateful that I get to travel and make content for you guys as one of my jobs. Biggest thank you to you guys for putting me in this type of position, and also big shout out to SORARE. Yes, many of these experiences I'm about to show you I have been given tickets for thanks to them, including exclusive VIP access to many of the fixtures. Crazy thing is, you could be gifted these type of opportunities as well. By submitting your best possible 5-a-side squad for each match day, the best rewards come out of it. My favorite one being some of these matches I'm about to show you, but even cash, signed jerseys, and even some unthinkable ones, like playing a match with Zidane. It is by far the best fantasy game out there for me, so make sure you sign up as well by clicking the link in my bio. As yeah, this list of clubs that I have seen would not be so big if it weren't for them. Let's go in order of each tier, starting from bottom to top. So even though I've just been showing you all a lot of gratitude, I will be brutally honest as to which fan bases I did not particularly enjoy. The first one in discussion is Tottenham. I saw them play this season right before Christmas against Liverpool, that insane match which finished 3-6. Now I did enjoy the match a lot as Liverpool is my favorite Premier League club, but in terms of rating the fan atmosphere, quite poor. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is obviously one of the coolest looking grounds in the UK. The light show at the beginning, since it's such a modern stadium, was really cool, but during the match, there was little to no excitement. Everyone just seemed a bit cold and miserable, even before they were conceding loads of goals. But once Liverpool began to show dominance, so many left the stadium after each goal. It was funny to see, but yeah, nothing to be cheerful for, I guess, if you're a Tottenham fan. Especially when you're conceding 6 goals there at the bottom. Now the next one I'm placing all the way at the bottom, I witnessed another home team get outclassed, but this time all the way in Hungary. This was for the biggest derby in the country between Ujpest and Ferencváros. Ferencváros, being the away side with more recent success, absolutely destroyed Ujpest 6-0. And rightfully so. The Ujpest fans who I was sitting with were furious. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand why they were upset, but it just was not an enjoyable match. At the beginning it was amazing. The Ujpest Ultras started off strong. Smoke bombs coming out from the Ultras where you could barely see some of the pitch. But all the hype and excitement quickly vanished as soon as the match went underway, as Ujpest conceded 4 goals in the first half. And I really hate to put this club so low, as I did hear a lot of great things about this derby, but them getting thrashed made it an unenjoyable experience. Seeing the Ferencváros fans celebrate in the distance, I just wanted to join them instead. And it really didn't help that I showed up to the match hungover. So that's definitely a bit on me for not being in my element, but this is my own personalized, opinionated video. They were passionate for sure, but I just did not enjoy the fans too much there. They're at the bottom with Tottenham. For either of these clubs, it obviously does not help when I see your team concede 6 goals, does it? But that being said, I loved Budapest itself. I had a great few days there. Anyway, I have another 2 teams to put at the D tier, as they're both clubs from the MLS. DC United, along with LA Galaxy. DC United I've seen a handful of times as I did grow up here. And don't get me wrong, they are fun watches. I've actually witnessed some of the best ever live goals there, like Wayne Rooney's goal from his own half with the most beautiful sunset, to Benteke's bicycle kick against Charlotte FC. And I definitely appreciate the passion the hardcore fans give. But when you want to be realistic, American fans just cannot compare to some of the stuff I've seen in Europe. LA Galaxy, I saw them in 2019 when Zlatan was at the club. And there's just one more team I have to put at the bottom D tier, and it pains me to do so. I had a great time watching them play, but it is Geylang from Singapore. The club treated us so well, gifting a wonderful VIP experience, even watching the players walk out of the tunnel for kickoff. But the Singapore Premier League as a whole just needs to build more interest. The fans were fun and so kind, but they didn't show up in huge numbers. Part of that oddly adds some charm though. The fact that the league is not so popularized, clubs and fan bases really seem to support and work together to create an incredible community. It was definitely a heartwarming experience and one of a kind, but the actual atmosphere during the match, compared to all the others that I have seen, it just was not anything to show off for. And I don't think many people from Singapore would argue with my opinion. We move on now to the C tier clubs. And guys, please don't take this the wrong way. I thoroughly enjoyed each and every one of these experiences in their own way. But now, we move on to Shaktar. I was lucky enough to visit Ukraine 5 months before the war broke out. And during my time in Kiev, Shaktar were playing their opening match against Ujpest. Not the wildest atmosphere, as the stadium wasn't even completely full. Back then there were some random restrictions in regards to COVID, but another contributor is that Shaktar are not allowed to play in their home region, as Donetsk is occupied by Russia. They were playing in Dinamo Kiev's ground. My friend Kyle carried some of the chants. He even made it onto their Instagram page. But the best part about the match was the end, watching this pitch invader get away from security with the help of other fans. Joining Shaktar are two Premier League clubs, Brighton and Arsenal. For Brighton, we got incredible seats right at the corner flag, and this was all the way back in 2019 when they played Southampton. It was a beautiful day and solid celebrations when Brighton scored their disallowed goal. But then Southampton put on a show to win the match, and unfortunately, leaving the Amex, I genuinely felt like the Southampton fans were much louder, as I was just running into too many. I wonder how those same lads are doing now though. And now the mighty Arsenal, it just was not the craziest fixture or result, to be fair. It was that same week where I saw Tottenham face Liverpool. The Gunners played Ipswich and won 1-0. That match in particular, I just did not get much footage. Now, I definitely recognized the passion in the supporters and felt that thrill of witnessing a historic Premier League club. Maybe it was just that fixture in particular, but nothing blew me away compared to my other experiences. Now, everything B and higher, I have to say, is a big jump from everything I've just mentioned. It was genuinely tough, but for all these football clubs, they were some of my favorite football experiences. With B specifically, we've got two VIP experiences provided by SORARE: Benfica and Napoli. Starting with Benfica, this was actually my first ever VIP football experience. It was a genuine shock. I brought my mate Jordan Burrs, who I'm sure some of you know. He was traveling around Europe around that time, and SORARE always allowed me to bring a guest. Unlimited food and drinks, which were top quality, and we were sat with other content creators as well, who we quickly befriended. And we went for O Clásico to see the rivalry break down between Benfica and Porto. Benfica were doing really well at the time, so everyone seemed to be in the highest spirits.
I don't know if it's the atmosphere, but I just feel like Benfica are absolutely going to drill Porto.
To be fair, I do not blame him for thinking that. Benfica fans really showed the most insane amount of energy pre-match, giving everyone a reason to be excited. Obviously, the stadium kind of lost its spark when they lost the lead, but the passion was so strong in the first half. Even police had to separate fans. Not related to my ranking for Benfica, but I did spend about 4 days after in Lisbon, and I gotta say, it has to be one of my favorite cities in Europe. When it comes to Napoli though, the city as a whole was not my favorite. I mean, most Italians will agree there are some cities with more charm. However, it's still an incredible place to see for any football fan. The people of Naples truly love their football there. With decorations all over the street when I went, pictures and souvenirs of Maradona everywhere, you literally could not miss him. But when it came to the actual match day, the VIP perks were top as well. Here the seats were so much closer, we were able to see the players so clearly coming in and out before and after the match. And the fans across the entire stadium were extremely loud and passionate. It was against Barcelona in the Champions League last season when Osimhen was still at the club. And of course, they had the famous announcer on the mic for the match intro, along with each goal scored. It was a proper ground to tick off the bucket list, and I will still cherish that experience forever. But I just had some more clubs that gave me a more insane feel. We move on to the A tier, and I've got 4 clubs here. Since we just went over an Italian team, I'll go over another. Milan at the San Siro is another level, especially in a Champions League semi-final against their rivals Inter, who obviously share the same stadium. But I did watch this match while Milan were registered as the home side. A Champions League night in Milan is already one of the best things to witness. Nothing beats hearing the anthem in there. The stadium choreo and pyro were elite, and the Ultra fans are singing throughout the whole match. This was a top experience. I also watched Milan take on PSG in the Champions League the very next season in the group stage, and even though they won that match, the Milano Derby in the semi-final of the tournament stage easily tops it. Speaking of Ultra fans that continue to sing no matter the circumstance, Dinamo Zagreb is the perfect example of this. I've seen them play quite a lot of times even before I moved to Zagreb for a year, and no matter what, even if they concede a goal, these fans continue to sing, backing the club no matter what. Yes, the Bad Blue Boys, the Ultra Group, do have quite an infamous rep, but during the actual game at the stadium, they carry the match to life. So much so as the stadium Maksimir is in horrible shape. I mean, this is not a joke. Even Dinamo fans will openly admit it too. The stadium is in need of a serious revamp or upgrade, as you cannot even sit on the east side due to the earthquake which happened during COVID, which obviously limits the capacity, but again, the Bad Blue Boys will add all the noise you need and will go on for all 90 minutes. Them and Liverpool are my 2 favorite clubs, so I might have some bias, but still, it's one of my favorite atmospheres I have witnessed. Just if you ever go to sit with the Bad Blue Boys, don't film there like I did. I got yelled at when I tried to vlog this match against Atalanta. I saw some other YouTubers running into the same problem as well. I'm gonna move on now to Dinamo's biggest rivals, Hajduk Split. I watched them play one another in Split. Poljud is in significantly better shape than Maksimir, and the Torcida did not disappoint. The most eye-catching choreo for me there, just the fact that it stretched so far, and as soon as Hajduk scored, the fans and explosions were coming fast. Definitely one of the noisiest matches I went to. Just like Maximir, non-stop singing and jumping from the fans, even amongst fans that were not in the ultra groups. Since I support Dinamo, I was not really joining in on those celebrations. I was just trying to stay undercover and alive, but it was still an enjoyable watch, truly. Now moving on to another club I probably have some bias for, Liverpool. This was one of the best days of my life. SORARE sorted me and my guest out again with the VIP experience for Firmino's farewell match at Anfield. 3-course meal, unlimited drinks, a 1-1 draw against Aston Villa, but this atmosphere was truly unique. We normally associate the best atmospheres with the ones making the most noise or the most intimidating, but Anfield, to put in the best way, just felt like the most heartwarming ground I have ever seen. Maybe just because it was an emotional match for the fans, but it was a beautiful day in the city, and everyone at Anfield just looked happy to be alive. In English football overall, you don't really hear fans singing throughout the entire match like I was giving praise for Dinamo and Milan for, but that passion in You Never Walk Alone, to those breathtaking moments in the match, you could tell everyone was off their seat. Klopp was also banned for this match, so he was sitting somewhat close to us. And then everyone was staying to give Roberto Firmino the send-off he deserved. Just overall, one of the greatest days I've ever had, and one that I will never forget. So I put my 2 favorite clubs in the A tier, Dinamo Zagreb and Liverpool. Who would I rank higher than them? Well, in terms of experiences that left me absolutely stunned and ones that I really feel are incomparable, the 2 clubs for me are Partizan and Galatasaray. I saw Partizan play Crvena Zvezda in their eternal derby. Of course, Crvena Zvezda fans showing up definitely added even more chaos, but the fact that these were my views as soon as kickoff began, Partizan were willing to nearly burn their stadium down just to intimidate their rivals. The Grobari are intense, and I caught them obviously when they were the most eager to have a big display. The club blessed me with tickets on this one. I was in some commentator box spectating. I was not near fans or anything, but I could really tell this atmosphere was like no other. And for Galatasaray, I saw them in the Europa League come up against Tottenham in the league phase. They were by far the loudest fans I've ever heard in football. I cannot even imagine how much crazier it is when they play Fenerbahce. Every single time Tottenham got the ball, the witnessing was, I'm sure, infuriating for them. After leaving Rams Park, my ears felt damaged for the rest of the day. It's definitely the most hostile atmosphere for any away team to travel to. And I loved their post-match celebrations, with how Osimhen was with the fans. It really seemed like he quickly fell in love with the club. Visually, it was not as crazy as what I saw in Belgrade, but that's because they banned flares and stuff of that nature in third-gear matches. Still, 10 out of 10 experience, and I'm so grateful I got to witness football in that country in particular. But yes, guys, that is my complete list of all the clubs I have seen play at their own home ground. If you have seen any of these clubs live, let me know where I got it wrong, and also let me know where I should visit next. Thanks for listening to me ramble all the way till the end. I will see you all very, very soon. Take care. La cu noci.